Number 10. The Unbreakable Window Test. In 1993, a Toronto lawyer named Gary Hoy had a bizarre party trick. To impress new law interns, he'd run full speed into skyscraper windows to show they were unbreakable. And it worked until it didn't. Gary had done it before without issues. The glass. Solid, impact-resistant, built like a tank. But one day, Gary ran into the window again. The glass didn't shatter, but the entire frame popped out of the wall. The window didn't break, but it flew out with Gary still attached 24 stories up. Both Gary and the unbreakable window took the plunge. The glass passed the test. It never broke. Gary, unfortunately, was much more breakable. The firm closed a few years later, and Gary's death is now one of the most infamous cases in safety engineering and law school history. Number 9. The Lawyer Who Proved Too Much. Ohio, 1871. Lawyer Clement Vallandigham was defending a man accused of murder. His defense: the victim had accidentally shot himself while drawing his weapon. Clement wanted to prove how easily that could happen, so he grabbed a gun, believing it was unloaded, and reenacted the moment for the jury. It was loaded. He pulled the trigger and shot himself in the abdomen. 12 hours later, Clement was dead, but the jury believed his demonstration and acquitted his client. A lawyer who accidentally proved his case by accidentally dying. That's commitment to the job. Number 8. The Flying Tailor's Final Stitch. Paris, 1912. A man stood on the edge of the Eiffel Tower in what looked like a Halloween costume gone wrong. His name was Franz Reichelt, a tailor-turned-amateur inventor. He created a wearable parachute suit for pilots. He tested it by throwing dummies from his apartment. When that sort of worked, he thought, why not jump off the Eiffel Tower myself? Ignoring advice, Franz leaped from 187 feet wearing his parachute suit. It didn't open, it didn't slow him down. It just made him look extra ridiculous as he plummeted in front of a crowd and news cameras. He hit the frozen ground in seconds, a human crater in history. The suit was a flop. Franz, even flatter. Number 7. The Beard That Killed. Austria, 1567. Mayor Hans Steininger had the longest beard in Europe, minus 4.5 feet of glorious facial hair. So majestic, it had its own leather pouch. One day, a fire broke out in his town. Hans rushed to help, but forgot to tuck in his beard. Running downstairs, he stepped on it, tripped, fell, and snapped his neck. He died helping his people, murdered by his own beard. After his death, they removed his beard and put it in a museum where you can still visit the lethal facial hair today. Number 6. The Daredevil versus the Orange Peel. Bobby Leach was a professional daredevil. In 1911, at age 54, he went over Niagara Falls in a steel barrel and survived. Crushed bones, sure, but alive, he became a global celebrity. Fast forward to 1926. While walking down a street in New Zealand, Bobby slipped on an orange peel. He broke his leg. It got infected with gangrene. Doctors amputated it, but he died during surgery. The man who survived a 167-foot plunge over Niagara Falls. Killed by fruit. Number 5. Hoarder's Booby Trap Backfire. Langley and Homer Collier were eccentric millionaires in New York City. They lived in a brownstone packed with over 100 tons of junk, newspapers, 14 pianos, a Model T Ford. Inside their house, Langley, paranoid of robbers, built booby traps everywhere. One day in 1947, while crawling through the maze to feed his blind, paralyzed brother Homer, Langley triggered one of his own traps. A mountain of junk collapsed on him. Crushed and trapped, he died just feet away from Homer, who slowly starved to death, waiting for food that would never come. It took police weeks to find the bodies, buried under literal tons of debris. Number 4. The Man Who Laughed Himself to Death. In 1975, British bricklayer Alex Mitchell was watching his favorite show, The Goodies. The episode, Ecky Thump. He started laughing and didn't stop. 25 minutes of nonstop hysterics. Then his heart gave up. He died from laughter. His wife even wrote a thank you letter to the show's creators for giving her husband such a joyful end. Years later, his granddaughter nearly died of a similar cardiac event. doctors discovered a rare genetic condition called long QT syndrome. It turns out Alex likely had the same disorder, his heart's electrical system short-circuited from the joy. Number 3. Death by falling turtle. Aeschylus was one of ancient Greece's most respected playwrights, but in 455 BC, a turtle fell from the sky and killed him. No, really. An eagle had picked up a turtle and wanted to crack it open. Eagles often drop them onto rocks. Problem is, Aeschylus was bald. The eagle mistook his shiny head for a rock and dropped the turtle. Boom. Death by reptile airstrike. Some say it's legend, but historians still debate it. Art was even created to honor this absolutely wild end to the father of tragedy. Number 2. The Emperor's Deadly Immortality Potion. Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of unified China, was obsessed with immortality. He hired alchemists to create a potion for eternal life. Their answer? Mercury pills. He took them religiously, thinking they were the key to living forever. But instead of achieving immortality, he died of mercury poisoning. Even worse, he sent explorer Xu Fu on a mission to find a mythical tree of deathlessness in the Pacific. Xu Fu and his entire fleet never returned. Ironically, Qin Shi Huang, who built the Terracotta Army to guard him in the afterlife, rushed himself there by trying to avoid it. Number 1. The composer's fatal foot tap. Jean-Baptiste Lully was the royal composer for King Louis XIV. Back in the 1600s, conductors didn't use batons. They used giant wooden staffs to keep time by banging them on the floor. During a performance celebrating the king's recovery, Lully got a little too into it. He smashed the staff into his own foot. The wound got infected. Doctors said they have to amputate to save him, but Lully, a proud dancer, refused. The infection spread. He died, refusing surgery at a concert celebrating the king's successful surgery. Talk about irony in a minor key. That's it for today, minus 10 strange deaths you'll never forget. Which one shocked you the most? Drop it in the comments.